Freedom is never easy to achieve. You need to sacrifice a little bit of your time, your well-being, and you have to accept it. It's like working hard in a field to bring in the harvest.
Урожай.
The ultimate goal of what is happening in Belarus now is to obtain new, fair and completely transparent elections. You can't imprison everyone, you can't beat up everyone, and you can't send everyone into exile.
Signore e signori,
ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow members, presidents of the institutions and authorities, I am very much honoured and delighted to welcome the laureates of the Sakharov Prize of the European Union. They represent the democratic opposition in Belarus, and I extend a welcome to Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, Veronika Tsepkala, who are here with me on the podium. I'd also like to extend a welcome to Sira Dielescu, Ales Bialyatsky, and Sti Tsapan Putsila. And I also want to extend a warm greeting to Svetlana Alexievich, who is watching online, like many of the members of the European Parliament. Unfortunately, not everybody could be with us today. Sergei Tikhanovsky is still in jail, solely for the crime of wanting to assert his right to stand in elections. And the same is true for Mykola Statkevich and Maria Kolesnikova, who are represented by their family members here today, Maria Adamovich and Tatiana Komich. And I invite you now to reflect on this prize. I am much honoured to have you with me today in the European Parliament. Over the last months, you have showed the world what it means not to give up. You have defended your rights, and you have not given up the struggle, despite the pain, the suffering, and the fear. As Nelson Mandela said, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Your courage and the strength of your spirit have shown the way to revolution, which has taken power in the country in 2020. And we pay tribute to you, to your resistance and to your perseverance. For us, the awarding of the Sakharov Prize is an important moment. Human rights defenders and activists for democracy are a model for us. And as an indication of the high esteem in which we hold them, we have organised the ceremony for the Sakharov Prize, despite the current difficulties. The members of the Parliament from the 27 member states are in part connected with us online, and some of them are here today in the chamber to congratulate you and hear from you. In the times of social media, it's difficult to cover up information, and I would like to transmit to you, but also to all of the citizens in Belarus, the fact that we are fully aware of what is going on in your country. We can see your courage. We can see the courage of women in Belarus. We can see the suffering of the people. We see the unspeakable abuses. And we see the violence. Your aspirations and your determination to live in a democratic country in freedom inspires us. We support you in your struggle. I would like to pay a special tribute to our laureates and to the strength that they have shown. Regardless of how brutal and ruthless the methods used by the government might be, and no matter how great the fear, that has not been able to stand in the face of the enduring protests of all of the Belarusian people. We have awoken and we will not go back to sleep. That is what you said during the marches for unity. And that is true. It is true that Belarus is no longer afraid. And this is something which the authorities and the government have understood. The Belarusian population has shown that no authoritarianism can stop the change and the opening of a new chapter in your history. Ladies and gentlemen, your struggle is our struggle. And it's not the first time that we give a collective prize to laureates from Belarus. In 2004, the Sakharov Prize was given to the Belarusian Association of Journalists for defending the freedom of the press. I would like to congratulate them on their constant commitment to provide information, and also for the spirit of sacrifice that they have shown in recent months. In 2006, we awarded the prize to Alexander Milenkevich, who at the time was the leader of the United Opposition Forces for Democracy in Belarus. The message of the European Union is clear. The citizens of Belarus must be able to fully enjoy their democratic rights and live in freedom. In the European Union, it is our moral duty to support them. Furthermore, we have to support all of those throughout the world who are carrying out the same fight. Before I give the floor to Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, I would like also to congratulate and send a message of support to the other finalists for the prize this year, the environmental activists from Guapinol and Berta Cáceres from Honduras, to Monsignor Najib Mikhail, the Archbishop of Mosul. And I cannot finish without mentioning our finalists for the Sakharov Prize who are still imprisoned, and to call for their liberation. Ilham Tohti, Raif Badawi and Nazrin Sotoudeh, who has just been imprisoned again despite her fragile health by the Iranian authorities. We salute all of them, and we will always stand with them. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I will now give the floor to Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya for her speech.
Dear Mr. President, members of the European Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, this year the world has seen Belarus awakening. We stood for our freedom, dignity, national identity, but we faced the brutal nature of the regime. Two realities confronted: peaceful, bright people with flags and flowers against armed men in black hiding their faces behind balaclavas. We feel humbled that our story of resistance touched so many people across the globe. On your way to the European Parliament, you could see a shocking photo on the facade of the building. A woman in white falling down to her knees before the riot police. It's not a wartime movie scene. It's a peaceful Belarus in 2020. People locked inside a cathedral by special forces. It's a peaceful Belarus. Detainees marked with different colors to determine how severely they should be beaten by the police officers. And it is a peaceful Belarus. Deliberately infecting prisoners with COVID-19. It is a peaceful Belarus in the heart of Europe. Fear is what one feels hearing those stories. I'm one of the thousands of Belarusians who used to be afraid. An invisible wall of fear was built around us. This wall of fear held us back for almost 3 decades. But this year, everything has changed. This year, we united in our aspiration for change. United, we believed that this wall of fear can be taken down brick by brick. United, we overcome our fear on the way to freedom, day by day, week by week, month by month. The photo on the facade of the European Parliament is not a story of fear. It is a story of hope, courage, and freedom. For the third time in 20 years, Belarusians have been honored with the Sakharov Freedom of Thought Prize. What is a better recognition that we are free thinkers? What is a better motivation for us to keep going? We are bound to win, and we will win. A simple wish to walk freely in the streets of our cities and towns keeps us going. Desire to celebrate holidays with our families keeps us going. Dream of a better future for Belarus keeps us going. Belarus, where justice and truth prevail. Belarus that our children can be proud of. I'm endlessly honored to speak in front of you. We received this prize together with brave Belarusians Maria Kolesnikova, Veronika Tsipkala, Sviatlana Alexievich, Volga Kovalkova, Олесь Беляцкий, Микола Статкевич, Сергей Тихановский, Сергей Делевский, Степан Путила, and all the members of the Coordination Council. But we are not alone here today. Beside us are thousands of Belarusians who inspire us, give us strength and hope. Many of them are not here today. Our courage, women, workers, students, doctors, teachers, lawyers, writers, journalists and activists of all them are in Belarus fighting for our freedom. It is to them that this prize belongs. Last Sunday, I met with our distinguished Belarusian writer, Sviatlana Alexievich, who is with us remotely today. Sviatlana received the Nobel Prize for telling the stories of a little big man in the light of historic events. This is how she created a monument to suffering and courage in our time. For me, such a little big man is each and every Belarusian who take part in this peaceful protest against violence and lawlessness. Each of them is a hero. Each of them is an example of courage, compassion, and dignity to me. Freedom is made of simple things and often requires fearless resistance. For Alexander Taraikovsky, it was protesting against the falsified election. He stood raising his bare hands in front of men with rifles, and he was shot dead. Fearless he was. For the artist Roman Bondarenko, it was going out to protect the national symbols in the courtyard where neighbors gather. He was kidnapped and beaten to death in the police office. Fearless he was. Journalist Katerina Borisevich and Dr. Artem Sorokin dared to unveil the truth about this murder by the regime cronies. This bravery cost him the freedom. Fearless they are. Natalia Hirsha couldn't stay on the sidelines and came back to Belarus after living abroad for many years. Out of solidarity, she participated in peaceful protests and was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for taking the mask of the police. Fearless she is. Freedom is victory over fear. 73-year-old Nina Baginskaya. "73-year-old Nina Baginskaya has become a symbol of our struggle. Despite countless detentions and intimidation, she has been protesting against injustice for 30 years already, often alone. Truly free she is." Mykola Statkevich. Mykola Statkevich was a presidential candidate in the 2010 election. He has been imprisoned and recognized as a political prisoner for the third time in 15 years. His commitment to the values of freedom is something that no prison sentence can take away. Truly free he is. My friend Maria Kolesnikova tore apart her passport and chose prison over exile to remain in Belarus with our people. Truly free she is. My thoughts are with her every day. My husband, Sergei Tikhanovsky, decided to tell the truth no matter the cost. For that, he was thrown in jail on trumped-up charges. He hasn't seen his family for 7 months already. But these are only some of the courageous people of our European nation is extremely proud of. Freedom is also universal. Belarusians have been marching every week since the 9th August election. They march for their future and the future of those who cannot be there. They march for the freedom and dignity of Belarusians, of Europeans, yours and ours. Without free Belarus, Europe is not fully free either. We ask Europe and the whole world to stand with Belarus. We call Europe to be braver in their decision and support the people of Belarus now, not tomorrow and not somewhere in the future. Standing for human rights and democracy is not interference, but it is duty of each self-respecting country. Your solidarity and your voice are important, but it is actions that matter. Please be there for Belarusians and be assured that Belarusians will do the same for you in the future. I have only one wish this year. I want every Belarusian who is now in jail or was forced to live in exile to return home. The third Sakharov Prize will mark a new beginning for Belarus. Nelson Mandela, who received the prize in 1988, together with the Soviet dissident Anatoly Marchenko, said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." He believed that brave are those who conquer their fear. Only united, we can fully conquer fear on our long path to freedom and build a new Belarus. Every country has its own path to democracy, and this is ours. Long live Europe, long live Belarus. Живи Belarus! Thank you.